Beginning in Mass Effect 1, the Attican Traverse gets a fair amount of lore exposition that depicts the mystery of the Mass Effect universe and reinforces just how new humanity is on the galactic stage. As such, we see a number of planets that formerly housed civilizations before their time ran out. The first example of this is the planet Vecchio, which literally translates to old. Located in the Vecchio system of the Ismar frontier, Vecchio is a hot, inhospitable planet compared to Earth. Here, scientists discover primitive burial sites among the mountains of the planet's equators. These simple graves contain the remains of what were human-like creatures with primitive ceramic implements nearby. There is no evidence that these remains belong to any visitors, as the nearest garden world shows no signs of former habitation, and the unsophisticated nature of these sites do not suggest a spaceflight species anyway. These facts, along with the caveman-like settlements we find, suggest that this planet represents a would-be civilization that, for lack of a better description, never quite made it. Gigula is the outermost moon of the gas giant Gamayun, located in the Daca system of the Nubian Expanse. This moon is the site of a famously well-preserved ancient starship discovered by the Turian military. The ship's origin and crew is a mystery, but research on the ship suggests that it belonged to a horizontally oriented species. The nearby planet of Pragia is a potential candidate for the ship's origin, as the planet proves perfectly capable of supporting sapient life. However, this is pure speculation. Study of Pragia is hampered by invasive plant species introduced by Batarian interests, as well as criminal elements that use the isolated planet and overgrown environment as a place to hide away from prying eyes. Ultimately, we never get any in-game hints as to the ship's true origins. The mysterious planet of Zaherux is located in the Grissom system of the Armstrong Nebula. Like Speculus in Earth System's Alliance space, Zaherux is the subject of memes and theories which are considered baseless by the reputable scientists of the galaxy. First, it should be noted that the planet itself is exceedingly hostile. It hosts a nitrogen-argon atmosphere that continuously thins due to the harsh solar winds of its local star. Its surface is further covered in massive lakes of loose silicate dust, which occasionally kick up into sandstorms far greater in size and scope than any seen on Earth. Researchers and explorers have sent a number of probes to learn more about this planet, but all have been lost in the planet's inhospitable environment. According to conspiracy theories by the likes of Asari author Delcia Orthisa, the planet is actually home to a sort of nanotechnology which turns hostile the moment any alien artifacts enter their domain. Despite the unfounded nature of these claims, it is anyone's guess what exactly the galaxy will find if they ever explore this barren planet. Located in the Gagarin system of the Armstrong Nebula, Junthor is a cold, desolate planet. The atmosphere that covers the planet is paradoxically a similar thickness to Earth's, but composed of CO2 and chlorine rather than nitrogen and oxygen. Along the planet's equators, researchers discovered the ruins of arcologies, which are massive structures that fused with the planet's natural ecology and other assorted structures. Amid these ruins lay a column with two mysterious inscriptions. On one side, "Walk among these works and know our greatness." On the other, "Monsters from the Id." Many will recognize the first inscription as a reference to Percy Bysshe Shelley's famed sonnet, Ozymandias, a poem typically interpreted as concerning the nature of hubris and the legacy of self-styled great men. Others have pointed out that Monsters from the Id is a direct quote from the influential 1956 science fiction film, The Forbidden Planet. This film portrays a planet that experienced an extinction-level event caused by a civilization inventing technology that accidentally creates doomsday creatures from their own subconscious. It is worth pointing out that this planetary civilization was not necessarily the victims of the Reapers. Going by the description, the architecture on this planet is remarkably intact, given that the Reapers typically prefer to eliminate any evidence of their victims' existence altogether. The monsters from the id quote arguably references the dangers of artificial intelligence. Still, the quote implies that they brought about their own destruction rather than had destruction foisted upon them. Found in the Hecate system of the Hades Nexus Nebula, Bothros is home to sites featuring melted scraps of metal and the frozen remains of a primate-like species. These creatures died wearing suits apparently made for leaving their vehicles and traversing the planet's icy surface. Further research shows that the planet's population centers were destroyed in powerful orbital bombardments similar to those found on other worlds. It should be pointed out that these creatures' remains did not come from the blast sites, but instead apparently belonged to creatures fleeing the bombardment. After fleeing their destroyers, these unfortunate souls were fated to become trapped in the planet's ice and die of asphyxiation. Despite being an advanced species, the Codex notes that there is no evidence that this species visited the nearby planet of Asteria. However, when combined with the frozen, largely uninhabitable nature of Bothros, a troubling suggestion arises. Specifically, that the former inhabitants of this planet, whose frozen corpses scientists observe, may not have been native to this planet at all. Instead, they may have been refugees of an ancient Reaper harvest, hiding from the doomsday devices that claim the rest of their species, only to be harvested or annihilated on their final refuge from the slaughter. Located in the Schwarzschild system of the Hawking Eta cluster, Etamis is a one-time garden state, somewhat larger than Earth, and home to a once thriving civilization. Modern archaeologists know of this civilization's existence from the few relics that survived this planet's cataclysm, which they date back somewhere between 20 and 40 million years ago. The civilization in question was destroyed by a devastating and thorough orbital bombardment by kinetic weapons. This bombardment hit every population center on the planet and was so apparently calculated as to rule out natural causes such as meteor showers. As many will notice, this is a recurring pattern throughout the galaxy. Located in the Century system of the Hawking Eta cluster, Klendagon itself is notable not for being the home of a former civilization, but instead representing the final moments of one. A desert world, Klendagon hosts a somewhat weaker gravity and thinner atmosphere compared to Earth, and perhaps most resembles Earth's neighbor, Mars. The planet's most renowned feature is its massive planetary split visible from space, known as the Great Rift Valley. The Great Rift Valley is a subject of interest to the galaxy scientists, as it appears to be the result of a weapon of extraordinary power rather than a natural event. This hypothesis is supported by the planet's moon, Presrop, itself the site of numerous planetary strikes, creating an artificially rugged terrain. In the modern cycle, we learn that this rift is indeed the result of a mass accelerator cannon fired 37 million years ago. The weapon is now inoperable, and the civilization that fired it is long dead. Still, they managed to accomplish something that likely few civilizations throughout galactic history can boast of. They killed a capital-class Reaper. This Reaper, functionally dead but still structurally intact and dangerous to organic minds, is found in the atmosphere of a gas giant, Mnemosyne, located in the neighboring system of Thorn. In other words, this ancient ordnance traveled across systems to lay waste to the surface of Klendagon. We never learn of the civilization behind this awe-inspiring piece of galactic artillery or the world that produced it, but the planet Etamis is a plausible candidate. As you may recall, Etamis is located in the neighboring system of Schwarzschild, also part of the Hawking Eta cluster. More importantly, the planetary extinction event of Etamis is estimated between 20 and 40 million years ago and would fit the estimated 37 million years ago in which this ancient battle took place. It is worth pointing out that based on the map of the Hawking Eta cluster, this weapon would not have been fired from Etamis itself, as Thorn does not lie between the Schwarzschild and Century systems. Instead, it stands to reason that the weapon was fired from the same system in which this derelict Reaper is found. If so, and should the weapon indeed belong to the dead people of Etamis, it appears that they either ventured to engage the Reapers in this neighboring system, or that they developed their Reaper killer away from their homeworld. One thing is for certain, and that is that the ancient civilization in question spent its final moments engaging the Reaper Armada in a cataclysmic battle that scarred the galaxy. This series will conclude with the Terminus systems before we move on to the Prothean cycle. As always, feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. Also feel free to like and subscribe if you don't. Thanks for watching. According to conspiracy theories by the likes of Asari author Delcia Orthisa, the planet is actually home to a sort of nanotechnology which turns hostile the moment any alien artifacts enter their domain.